Hello and welcome back to White Knuckle Rants, the series where I play White Knuckle while ranting about up to 10 topics. And the video ends if I either die or finish talking. Up to 4 user suggested topics will be allowed each video, just comment it and I'll pick the ones I like. Today's shoutout is Kenopsia for consistently being here, even becoming the GOAT of this channel, as I say. If you want a shout out like this, just comment literally anything below related to the video, and if it's good, I'll pin it for another video shout out. So, sorry for being gone for like the past 2 days. I've been kind of busy, not really able to get stuff out like consistently because of that. But hey, you know, I said I'd try to make this daily. I don't think I ever said it will be daily, like 100%. So I have a lot to talk about, because of Kenopsia's new user suggestion, but also because of the old one that I didn't finish. I think I ended on elementals and how they relied too much on like trying to sell you on the characters, which they did. That's what elementals did. Or not elementals. I think it was just elemental. That's the title. Elementals might be its own fucking movie. God damn, these titles are confusing. So yeah, Elemental probably wasn't terrible, but the marketing was mostly based around, hey, let's, you know, sell you on the characters, let's make you invested so we can just make the sequel and print money. And that's not what anybody wants, really. Because the worst thing to do is to show your hand. The movie industry, the film industry, the reason it might be getting worse is because, you know, they're just getting more bold and more brazen with their tactics. Star Wars most definitely had money in mind. Not all of the time. No, I think George Lucas genuinely had, like, you know, a lot of creative freedom, and he literally had, like, a lot of ideas. But there's a reason you don't see Jar Jar Binks as much in the prequels. Like, originally, he really wanted him everywhere. It was like George's OC that he wanted to put into Star Wars. But nobody fucking liked it. So, of course, they didn't have it all the time. And that's because you make money off of these movies. And most people like the movies where, yes, it'll make money, but it makes money because of its merit, not because it has some paid advertising, not because it tried a devious market tactic that only a few people actually know about, and not because it appeared to be good, but because it was good. Star Wars is very good, especially in the prequels. Like nowadays, I'm literally saying this, I like the prequels more than the sequel trilogy. Segway time. Fuck the sequel trilogy. Holy shit, that is hot garbage. Who decided this? I don't remember who, like, the director is, but that guy doesn't need to just get fired. He needs to be put in jail, bruh, for this serious mishandling of, like, that's probably the first time I said bruh on White Knuckle Rants, I just realized. I don't really have that in my diction a lot of the time, but you know. So literally, the sequel trilogy sounded good. It looked good from a glance, from the trailers, from what we saw. Now this happened back when I was like what, fucking 10? Oh man, when was this happening? Because if it was anywhere before 2017, I wouldn't even have a lick on how, you know, media literacy works. I would have just been like, ah, they shoot the guns and stuff like that. But now I'm like a mature 17-year-old, so I fucking know everything. Don't quote that. That's terrible. Yeah, no. What I mean to say is I definitely know more than I did back then. But I don't want that to discredit how it looked at the time. This was promising. Originally, what I think a lot of people thought at the time is it was going to be a continuation where Leia actually learns to use the Force, even becoming a Jedi, possibly, and Luke teaches her. Which, I mean, hey, that sounds like a good, like, new protagonist. Just have Leia be doing most of the driving now. Have Leia in the front seat. And that's a really good idea. But I mean, it is, you know, good to stray away from oh, I'm getting flashbacks from the tired characters that we're seeing. So I mean, hey, new protagonists are fine. That's fine, you know? And I actually commend them for going with this risk to get new protagonists, because there are a lot of tropes you could do with Star Wars that are really fucking cool and creative using the Star Wars IP to your advantage. For example, maybe an ex-Sith. I don't think there's literally like any person who was a Sith and then became a Jedi after, like, what was it, just repenting basically. I don't think that's ever been done. Like somebody saved from the dark side. It might have been. I don't remember though. And you think that would be like a memorable character. However, we not only get that in like, well, not Sith, but like Empire. He's also an ex-stormtrooper, which can lead to really creative situations. The stormtroopers are treated as the cannon fodder of this series, but now we actually have one on our side. So maybe we'd see some interesting scenes where he actually humanizes the stormtroopers and literally like asks them, you know, why do you have your gun pointed at me? Have you ever even thought about that? Have you ever even thought about why you're pulling the trigger? And that could be a really good commentary on, like, you know, slaves to a bigger machine, you know, stuff like that. And that's what Star Wars is all about, in my opinion, is the rebels. It's the smaller people fighting against the big people and winning. So honestly, that would have been peak. But if you notice my tone, it's not exactly what happened. The character I'm talking about is Finn. Finn is a really fucking cool idea. Really cool! And they fucked it up. Okay, well, I also need to introduce the other characters. Poe is the rebel pilot that I'm not even sure. I can't remember much about him, and that's unfortunate. I think he's like just a pilot from birth. And he's supposed to be like the sort of similar to Han Solo, because of course they had to kill off Han Solo since Harrison Ford? Yeah, is that his name? Yeah, I think so. Because Harrison Ford was getting so fucking tired of playing it. It was like, god damn it, just please kill me, bro. Not in real life, in the show, in the movie, in the movie series Star Wars. Okay. I almost said show. I mean, there are Star Wars shows, and Andor, I've heard pretty good things about, but I haven't watched it yet. I probably should. But yeah, so they had a pretty, I guess, dull kind of character here. Poe, in my opinion, wasn't really ever going to amount to much other than somebody that the audience can relate with, as we've never seen this world before, and he's constantly acting like the grounded sort of character that's like, what are we doing? kind of thing. I honestly like his actor, really nice. But Poe just Poe didn't really have that much. But hey, you could line up a simple rebel plot. You could line up a sort of secondary Han Solo that works differently, which I did like about this. Poe doesn't like denounce the Force as like subpar or you know, magic bullshit. He does seem to just be like, wow, this is helpful, this is cool. But he is outside of it because, of course, he doesn't have the midi-chlorians or whatever we're choosing to go with as the reason why the Force is in certain things. I know a few people don't like that explanation, but I'm going to be completely honest. It makes the lineage and bloodline trope make so much more fucking sense. Because, like, yes, it is cool to have a whole family lineage fighting against the bad guys, and they even do that in the sequel trilogy, and it's a reveal at the end that's supposed to be cool, but it really isn't. Like, they do the lineage trope all the time. Like, your family has been fighting against these people for years, you know? And the midi-chlorians make sense. It's just in your blood that you're going to be bestowed this power. It's classic anime tropes like that. Fucking JoJo's does this shit, and JoJo's is peak in my opinion. So yeah, it's I think midi-chlorians make sense. Anyways, yeah, no, Poe, pretty basic, grounding character, and actually kind of a bit of a breath of fresh air because he kind of seems human. Although I will admit, some of his lines are just, come on, man, you, fuck. You could have done anything. That's actually really fucking funny that, like, not even 10 minutes into the movie, actually, wait, yeah, like, about 10 minutes into the movie, he gets captured fucking immediately, and then, you know, of course, manages to get out with the help of Finn, which, yeah, really fucking cool. I like that they set it up that way. It makes him seem just like a guy, you know? And every single sci-fi story, and I stay by this, needs a guy. Well, not like a guy as in male, but a guy as in, like, he's just a dude in this world, you know? That's what Han Solo was. He's not some tech wizard or space, like, magician. He's just this guy that, you know, gets around. He's just here. And honestly, fair enough character to use this trope for. So, then we move on to Finn. As I mentioned, Finn is a really cool fucking concept. Ex-Stormtrooper, ex-Empire, or the New Order, or whatever, which one this is. They get really confusing with that, because they had to add a new one for some fucking reason, which is a bad decision in itself, but I'm not gonna lie, I do like how a lot of these things lined up. I just feel like there's a better way they could have handled that than just, let's make the New Order or whatever. The First Order is what it's called, right? Yeah. So, basically, they have this cool fucking character, and he honestly seems really promising, especially after we think that Poe dies. And of course, you know, he comes into the deserts of Tatooine, and yeah, you know, we see from there. And of course, Rey immediately sniffs him out as a tourist because he's doing all of the non-local things, which honestly, that's really fucking cool. Rey was promising as shit when she started, and I really liked this idea that we'd see somebody who's from the slums. I don't think there was really anybody other than like Anakin who grew up in poverty and was on the good side. You never really saw somebody who knows a thing or two about a thing or two. And then of course we see this. I mean, I guess technically Han Solo, but like, I'm not gonna lie. He didn't strike me as the sort of street rat kind of character. He was more like the criminal organization kind of character in my opinion. Like, sure, he's the rogue, he's the guy with the gun that doesn't give a shit about your morals and stuff like that, but Han wasn't out here having to scavenge ships for food. He was the guy that was turning people and ships into rubble. So there's a very big difference. But basically, you have this kind of character discover that she has the Force eventually, and she knows a thing or two. It could lead to some really cool interactions on Tatooine. Maybe the First Order shows up and they have to hide, but Rey knows a person. And, you know, they get to use that to hide from the First Order. And they're both like, wait a minute, did you grow up here? And she's like, yeah, I did. And it turns into a whole freaking thing. Maybe Poe doesn't like Tatooine or something like that, and it turns into like a character conflict, but they work it out. You know, you could go with so many different angles with this, but where do they go with it? Fucking nowhere. Rey uses her street knowledge. Never. Fuck. Okay, well, did they at least get the part where, you know, she's with the droid, she's with BB-8 that Poe sent off, right? Did they at least integrate that into somewhere? Not really. I mean, yeah, there's like a little bit of a scene with her and BB-8, and she's like, where'd you get that jacket? That's its owner's jacket, you know? And, you know, he has to explain that he died and tries to say that he didn't kill him. And then, of course, you know, the whole chase thing happens. Honestly, pretty okay. Pretty, you know, like, good exposition, I guess. You get a little bit of chemistry between the characters. And they have to trust each other because, of course, the circumstances warrant it. But, oh my god, there is so many things that could have been done here. So many. Now, Poe not being dead is fine. In fact, I would have been really upset if they just introduced a new character only to kill him off. Just because, like, it's okay to do that, but you've got to set them up as a dead weight character. You can't have this character hold weight, like Poe interacting with Finn, and even, you know... All right, I have heavy hitter. Wait, that means the blood bugs are gonna fucking die. Yeah, so you gotta set it up like that. So, okay, I'm glad that they didn't make Poe dead, but like, why do it as a plot twist thing? I would have liked to see more character conflicts, in this. Not because I think that the plot needs all of the drama, but I think that there could have been a lot better chemistry if just one person disagreed with each other. Like, think about it. Han literally didn't like the Force all that much, and that led to some pretty interesting character dynamics between him and the rest of the cast. Then, of course, you have Anakin and Obi-Wan, or not, wait. Yeah, wait, fuck, am I getting him mixed up for somebody else? No, I don't think so. Right, it has to be Obi. Yeah, no, so then you have Anakin and Obi-Wan, where Obi-Wan is kind of like the father figure that follows things religiously, and Anakin is the new kid on the block who just wants to get, you know, a loving girlfriend. He's just a kid. And the fact that this, like, conflicts, because, of course, with Obi-Wan's morals and beliefs, he can't allow Anakin to do this. And he's even been told by his like, masters, by the people that he follows orders from, to kill Anakin, basically. Or, well, not kill him. I don't think that's the original intent. It was just to, like, banish him. But, basically, he's told to do that, and of course Obi-Wan obeys commands because he follows his religion very closely, and it leads to a character conflict that makes the audience go, who is in the wrong here? Anakin is very okay with ending innocent lives because he's upset. Because he got mad. Obi-Wan is, of course, a Jedi, but he's following corrupt religious laws that inhibit freedom and happiness. He is quite literally hurting somebody by restricting their freedom in a way that's unnecessary or cruel. So it turns into just a duel of fates. No, a duel of fates is the one with, Darth Maul. What's the fucking soundtrack for their fight? God damn it, I was trying to make a cool ass pun, but I forgot what it's called. So yeah, that's really cool commentary, really cool conflicts, and they don't have to end like how Obi and Annie did, where they both fought to the death. It could even just be a verbal argument, and then of course Finn reveals that he's an orphan. He didn't join willingly. He's not some soldier that kills mercilessly. He's forced. He didn't have a choice. And then Rey can be like, I'm an orphan too. My parents, they abandoned me. And they can both sympathize with each other. And it's really fucking human to do that with your characters. It's really fucking cool. It could lead to, you know, a better relationship between the two that's more believable than just, hey, can I, like, join you? Sure. God fucking damn it. Like, there's so many cool ideas. And that's why the fan fiction of the sequel trilogy is so much better than the sequel trilogy. Is I haven't even gotten to some of the more, like, serious issues that I have. I've just been getting with like the characters and their introductions, and there's already so many things that I am upset at. That's insane levels of you didn't make the movie right. I'm not saying my judgment is a metric. I'm saying it is fucking horrendous that I have to... Wow, that is insane reach that has. It is fucking horrendous that I'm here, like, having to speculate about what could have been done instead of seeing a good fucking film. And remember how I mentioned earlier that, you know, they want people to latch onto the characters to make more movies, to make sequels. Star Wars doesn't need that because they just make sequels every time they make something. They just make more of it. They already have the guarantee. They don't need the box office immediately there. Which is why they, yeah, so like, but if you do what I said, if you have these character conflicts show up and you have that be the main driving force rather than just some contrived, oh yeah, the Empire's back bullshit, then you turn it into more of a like lovable series because it turns these characters from just I'm the hero to I'm a good person. And that's like literally the coolest fucking thing you can do in Star Wars too. But no, we gotta fuck it all up. All right, so as I mentioned, First Order is kind of bullshit. They already got rid of the Empire. They already like killed Darth Vader. Well, I mean he killed himself, but you know what I mean. The Empire is fucking dead. Why did they have to bring it back? I mean, it would have been cool to see, you know, what sprouts up from this. I doubt that, you know, evil would stay gone for long. That's classic in the hero's journey types of films. And I would have been disappointed if Star Wars didn't bring up a new big bad. But you could have even made it something less organizational. See, the prequels covers a lot of interpersonal relationships and also religious trauma and drama. Maybe this one could go over how, you know, too much freedom can lead to stuff like anarchy. Maybe instead of, you know, institutions, shitty rules, interpersonal drama, you could have done, you know, the people rip apart each other. And then it turns into a whole, hey, why do you fight type of thing. Literally, that's what Finn could have been doing. Maybe the stormtroopers banded together and created their own new empire, but it's weaker than the other one. And this is the First Order. And then he can literally skill check charisma go, why are we fighting each other? You murder day by day. And where does it get any of you? This isn't going to help people unite. This isn't going to stop the violence. And it sure as shit won't reanimate the dead. And he does that, and he like convinces them through words that violence is le bad. And that could have been very fucking peak. Where, you know, you cover like raiders, you cover small militia factions, and of course, you know, the stormtroopers that can't let go of the Empire days. You know, you cover all of these different factions that create violence, that create conflict throughout the universe, anarchy, and, you know, you restore it to order using the peaceful characters. Rey knows a thing or two about the streets. She knows what it's like to live a hard life, especially without orphans. She can help people grieve. Finn was literally forced into, like, war slavery. Now, in this modern timeline, I guess it could be a little different. Maybe he'd be older, but literally, he knows what it's like. He is down in there, and he knows what it's like to, you know, lose people, to be stuck in a perilous situation with no guarantee that you will live to breathe another day. He can help people stop being disillusioned with the idea that war is the only solution. And then there's Poe. Now, Poe doesn't already have a lot of characterization to go off of, so I can play to his strengths in this sort of fan fiction, like, suggestion. But Poe could literally just be the, like, OG of resistances. He can show people, hey, it's good to be a rebel, but it's also good to be united. You don't have to rebel against everything, and gonna be quite honest, the way you guys are rebelling is hurting people. You're not freeing anybody. You're further putting them into this meat grinder of death. And that could be a very human and a very real topic that Star Wars went over, and it would be fucking peak. They could have done so much, but they didn't. Okay, so they you know, they escape. They eventually, I think, find Poe before they get to the sort of like tavern castle thing. I forget what it's called. Then of course Rey starts to have these like flashbacks and stuff as she picks up the lightsaber, and she's like, ooh, I might know a thing or two about Jedi this time. And then it's so weird the way that they handled oh god, we haven't even talked about Kylo Ren. He's the character that I liked the most out of anybody in the sequel trilogy. And it's not because he's cool and edgy, which they were obviously going for. It's because, sorry, my room is like very dark. It's because he did things that no other character did in a series where it fucking sucks to be a character in this. Kylo Ren, in my opinion, did the most out of any of the characters and does the heavy lifting in my interpretation. Of this. Now, Kylo Ren has a lot of issues. Of course, there's the whole thing about him being Leia and Han's son, which, I mean, a bit strange. I mean, yeah, I guess we tie into the family lineage thing, but Kylo Ren almost has, like, a strange sort of relationship with Rey that I didn't find to be very appealing or convincing at all. Like, they even, I think, kiss at some point. No, let's not do enemies to lovers. Not in Star Wars either. Enemies to friends makes sense, but lovers, Kylo Ren, of course, they kind of tried to ruin him, and he's only slightly bad because of that. So Kylo Ren, he has the edgy lightsaber. It's flickering, and it has the hilt things, even though those are fucking useless. Seriously, tape 2 knives to your sword with serrated edges and try to swing that shit against somebody in battle. Try to hurt somebody with that. You're going to fucking cut yourself, bruh. This is very subpar design. Who decided this shit? It leans into just the sort of Shadow the Hedgehog, except Shadow is actually done well for an edgy character. Kylo Ren was not, and of course Kylo Ren has the new mask, the hood. He does that sort of shaky thing, and he's like sort of emotionally unstable, and they could have led into that emotionally unstable area of him as like why he joined the Sith. He wanted security, he wanted control, and this could be a very realistic, a very grounded take on how people, you know, cling to harmful ideologies and stuff in real life, like nihilism. He wanted control, he wanted security, he wanted a feeling of belonging even. This is why Kylo Ren joined. Maybe he was just insecure about, you know, leaving. But no, they don't do any of that. Oh my god. The dark side literally could just represent insecurity or instability. Hell, even mental illness, but that does get a little complicated when you start to portray them as the villains. because a lot of people don't have the media literacy to go, oh, hey, maybe mentally ill people aren't mean because they're mentally ill. Like, literally, my mom couldn't understand that. She was, like, trash-talking one of my, friends, I guess? And she was saying, oh, well, he's mentally ill, so it makes sense that he'd be mean like that. I'm like, that's not why. No, that's not a valid thing to say. You fucking idiot. But, like, literally, the dark side could be used as an allegory for so many different real-life things. Even in, like, addiction. Maybe Kylo Ren just fell into that pit of darkness, and Rey, platonically, you know, helps him. No! Fuck. I was kind of screwed in that situation anyways. Yeah. I was gonna say, Rey, like, platonically helps him, you know, get out of there. I don't think they should have ever, like, kissed at all. Come on, man. But working together did make sense. Enemies to friends. Yeah. Okay. Well, this one was a pretty long one. I'm still not done with the topic. Canopsia. I blame Canopsia for this one. Sorry, Blood. How is this getting so deep? Okay, anyways. I love you all. Mr. Dododo out.